Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Neca Batman 1989 7-inch figure. As someone who grew up with the 1989 Batman film, I was quite excited to learn that Neca had put out a 7-inch Michael Keaton Batman figure. Last year, as part of their 4-inch DC Universe lineup, Mattel actually put out a Michael Keaton Batman, along with Penguin and Catwoman. And the Batman figure was pretty nice overall. It wasn't perfect. This looks to be a lot more faithful to the film, as it should be since it comes from Neca. Packaging is pretty simplistic. In fact, it looks like packaging you might have seen on a toy back in 1989. You get the 1989 Batman logo there on the top, and then Batman sits in a pretty comfortably sized plastic bubble. Back of the packaging gives us a nice look at the Batman figure in action, with news of him defending Gotham City. If you'd like to pause and read that, feel free to do so. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take Batman out of the packaging. He looks to be a really awesome figure. I am very excited to get him out and take a look. So let me take care of that, and then we will see what Batman has to offer. Alright, you guys, I gotta say, I am very pleased with this figure. Just the aesthetic of it. For a 7-inch figure, I gotta say, this is probably one of the most realistic figures in that size that I have. They did a heck of a job capturing the facial glance and expression there. Looks a lot like Michael Keaton's Batman, and just very lifelike and very cool. The proportions look to be very nicely accomplished. Body looks to be a pretty good size. If anything, it might be a little bit on the skinny side. The cape is okay. I'm not really feeling the fact that it is somewhat translucent. You can see through it right there. And the material's kind of like cotton, just plain cloth, which, I think they could have done something a little bit nicer for this guy. Give you a close-up here of the head. Guys, this is a Batman figure. Look at that. It just oozes personality. It feels a lot like the Michael Keaton Batman. They just really got his lips right, and the face. It just looks a lot like him. The eyes are very nicely done. The left eye looks like it may be somewhat off-center, but pretty cool nonetheless. The ears are shaped pretty nicely. The cowl is pretty cool. It's a soft rubber, which is interesting, and the ears are pretty soft, but they seem to be holding their shape pretty well. Now, this mask is one piece. It goes all the way down to his neck, just like, the original costume that Michael Keaton wore for the 1989 film. The face, again, looks very nice. The skin looks very realistic. Lips and all the shaping there they gave him looks quite nice. What is also very unique about this guy is that the mask is actually a separate piece that is perhaps glued onto him. If I lift it up, you can kind of see his eyes there, which have like black makeup on them. So it's really cool that Neca did that. I mean, they obviously sculpted the Bruce Wayne head. Maybe at one point they were thinking of doing, a variant or something. I'm not sure. But it is cool. I just wish that maybe it had an extra head where you could remove this or something. But, I mean, that's a minor gripe. This is still one hell of a figure. The rest of the outfit also looks really nice. He's got the 1989 emblem there on his chest. I think, the proportions are good. But he does look maybe somewhat on the skinny side. I guess, or maybe he has a big head. I'm not sure. But yeah, he does look a little bit lanky. That's really the only gripe I have, other than the cape. But, it's sculpted very nicely. It's kind of like a rubbery plastic kind of feel to it. Looks a lot like the costume from the film. Very nice and smooth. Arms are very nicely done. It's got the little spikes there on the gauntlets. Belt looks really nice. If not somewhat bland, maybe a little bit more of a wash or something would have looked cool. But, I mean, it looks good. It looks like it did in the film. He's got a little bit of a bulge right there. The legs look really good. Boots look excellent. Really liking what I'm seeing there. And then the shoes. Now, it looks like this is a separate piece down here on the ankles that's, attached there to the front of the foot. Pretty neat, for sure. Again, the cape is like just cloth, and it's a little bit see-through, which I don't like that. For such a nice figure, I think that's really the biggest drawback here is that the cape, it's soft and it drapes nicely on him. But Mattel, did like a pleather cape on their 4-inch figure, which I thought looked pretty nice. And I'm not so sure why NECA didn't do something similar, or, just something that was more, a little bit heavier, I don't know. This is really the biggest problem I have with the figure, I would say. In the way of articulation, Batman has a ball joint here at the head. You can't really move it a whole lot. I mean, you can go like side to side, since this is, soft, like rubber or something. But you can't really go up and down all that much. Just moves just a little bit. It's still pretty nice. He does have those ball joints at his shoulders, so you do get movement there. They are a little bit tight. He has ball hinges here at his elbows. He's got hinging here at his wrists. You'll see 2 different hands. He has an ab crunch, which is a little bit restricted too, because, this is all, sculpted over it, it seems. He's got a rotation at the waist. He has ball hinges at his hips, which, have a nice range of movement. He's got ball hinges at the knees. And then he's got nice ball hinges at the ankles, along with rocker swivels. Now we do get a few accessories here, which is pretty neat. We get 2 fisted hands. This is a right hand. And then we get a gripping hand, perhaps for the one of the other accessories that comes in here. There's a little bit of a slit there, so we'll test that out in just a moment. He also comes with a batarang, which is pretty nice, has a little bit of extra silver paint. And I think this is the one that goes in his hand that I just showed you. And then, of course, he's got the grapnel gun, which, most important accessory, of course, next to the batarang. And looks pretty good. There's a little bit of paint detailing on it, sculpted, okay, very simplistic. When you switch out the hands, you will see that there is a ball hinge that sits there. What you want to do is just try and push it in. I'd assume you would hear it snap at some point. Nah, it doesn't snap, but it is in there. Very interesting design, but that does seem to be pretty cool and gives them a good range of movement without fear of snapping tiny little pegs. Now he does indeed hold the batarang in that hand quite nicely, I must say. And the right hand that comes on him out of the packaging is certainly meant for holding his grapnel gun. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the NECA Batman 1989 7-inch Michael Keaton Batman figure. Guys, all in all, I gotta say I am absolutely impressed with this figure. In fact, as of this very moment, this is my favorite Batman figure that I have in my collection, and I have quite a few of them. The aesthetic, I think, is the most impressive thing here. NECA did a heck of a job giving him a very realistic appearance. The face is very lifelike. The soft rubber of the mask looks excellent. The nice materials they used for the rubber and plastic on the body are also very nice. It's sculpted very, very nicely. The interchangeable hands are quite awesome, the way you can put them on actual ball hinges so as to prevent any possible breaking. It's really cool that he has hands that are specifically intended to use the batarang and the grapnel gun. And the articulation works very, very well. He's very easy to pose, and he looks so awesome when you do that. Only other drawback I have here is the cape. I don't like how it's somewhat see-through, and I think the material could have been a little bit nicer. But, I mean, as it is, it drapes pretty nicely on him, so I have no complaints in that regard. But, guys, if you're a fan of the 1989 Batman movie, and you like really excellent Batman figures, I can't recommend this guy enough. He is just so, so, so cool, and I'm very ecstatic that I now have this guy in my collection. I just hope that NECA expands on this line and gives us, a Joker or a Catwoman. That would be super awesome. All right, you guys, thanks for watching Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.